Hi. Ako nga pala boyfriend ni Jason.
Oh my gosh.
Hi.
Hi. Hi.
Ang random eh. Naka-stream ka ba?
Hindi,
I-quote
hindi.
mo.
Is
Okay,
there a
yan.
secret mechanism
Ay.
or
Di ka naka-stream, Jerome?
Lagi ako nakagano.
Naka-stream ka ba?
Hmm.
Clip mo yon.
As in lahat ng aking minutes pag naglalaro.
8 hours.
8 hours non-stop.
Kalo ba trabaho eh?
so?
Nagtigil yun.
Honestly, for a place so
Nagtrabaho
limited, Paimon sure doesn't see anything special.
Meron kayong little company.
Bibili
Sa
pa lang
29
ako.
pa, bibili si
Meron akong
Jason.
crack. Gumagana yung online.
There are 3 such isolation gates in total.
Nako.
Am I
Yan ang
correct to
gusto
assume
ni
you're
Lota.
going to run on
Libre.
back and tell a little
Libre, gumagana online.
We. Tapos tingin lang natin.
Well, I'd advise you wait until you've
Yeah.
seen the whole truth of this place for yourself before deciding whether
Kato,
or not to
kailangan
take
mo
them.
pa ng hamachishi. Anong tawag nito?
Wala, bibili lang ako sa 29.
Bili mo.
Okay ng ina.
Magkano lang naman. Pero ako, wala akong trabaho. Ba't ako bibili? Wala akong pambili.
Same.
So there's a switch on the side.
Walang trabaho.
Stand back.
Kaway-kaway.
Jewom, yung slide ko sa'yo sa Upwork,
Oh.
dali lang ang ginagawa doon.
Ano?
Pati ka mag-proposal doon. May sinend ako sa'yo, hindi mo makita?
Hindi.
Mag-scroll ba ka, Niga? Ay, ano?
Ah?
Nag-scroll ba ka?
Go on. Have a look.
Niha, sabi Niha.
Weh.
Ni-smoke ko eh. Ayaw mag...
Nasira mo walkthrough ko ah.
Sorry.
Genshin walkthrough ko ah.
I've been interested in what lies beyond that gate ever since I assumed leadership of the fortress of Meripede. Of course, it would be unwise to recklessly open it, but it'd also be risky and negligent to simply ignore any potential danger that could be behind it. The readings on that dashboard have not budged since the day when I first laid eyes on this place. But over the past year, the needle has crept upwards from its original position, likely because some parameter it's been tracking has changed, if only infinitesimally. Normally, I would have ignored it, but I happened to have some free time when I noticed it, so I investigated. Any guesses what the reading could be tracking? Very reasonable guesses. I've considered both of those as well. Unfortunately, our dashboard is tracking something less ordinary. The temperature should vary with weather and climate changes, so for something that rarely shifts, the water pressure is more likely. We ran a few tests to increase the pressure from the outside, but the readings didn't change at all. Later
The
on, a
water
few
level,
more
nako.
possibilities occurred to me, such as a potential connection with the
nako.
primordial sea. I began to make a few preparations based on that hypothesis. Over the past few days, the needle has moved again. With that and the
Gusto ko may
symptoms
driving
that
down.
Fremine displayed after leaving the fortress, I can now confidently
Gusto ko na
conclude that the
dakdak.
readings represent the concentration of primordial
Sumubo yung malaki.
seawater in the seawater nearby.
The concentration of
Kung gusto ko yung big and juicy.
primordial seawater?
Ba-
But we're already
Basa-basa.
in the sea.
Oh,
And that
medyo
is
malat-alat.
precisely the problem. We're at the bottom
Tingnan
of
mo,
the
Man.
sea,
sa
and now we're
7-Eleven.
surrounded by toxic seawater. Somehow, primordial
Titikman.
seawater got mixed in, and the concentration is
tinikman.
steadily rising. Yes. That's
So may
very
tanong
likely.
Pwede, pwede tayo maglaro? Pwede tayo maglaro nun? Like, kunyari nakabili na kami ng Steam, nakabili na ako ng ano ng... Pwede pa rin.
No. It's
Seems
crack,
like you
crack
figured it
to
out.
crack. Ganun lang.
I believe the primordial
Oh,
sea lies
shit.
directly beneath
May
this
tanong
sluice
ako.
gate.
Ano yan?
For some reason, the primordial seawater levels have risen significantly,
May lima
and it's
kang
now
kapatid.
very close to
Pangatlo
us.
ka.
The indicators are now
Sino yung
red.
I'll suck it.
Although the gate still stands,
Pang
some
ilan yung
primordial
bunso?
seawater has already leaked out and mixed into the sea around us.
May lima kang
If
kapatid.
this continues,
Pangatlo ka.
I'll suck
Sino yung
it.
bunso?
soon it will no longer
400
be able to
mil.
hold back the primordial sea.
I'm sucking it.
Eh, damn! Let me get my shit off! Damn!
Yeah, you know what the legends say.
Man, can't
If this
believe.
place falls, then everyone in Fontaine will be
Just
eating
chupain.
in the span of
Oh.
a night.
Yun nga. May lima kang kapatid. Pangatlo ka. Pangilan yung bunso?
Why would the Fortress of Meripede be built?
Ako,
Your
hirap si
expression tells
Lotas
me you
sa
think this
sagot.
might be part of a vast, complicated
Tulo na ilaway ko
conspiracy.
eh.
It's
Uy,
just that the
laway lang
secret
ba?
of the Forbidden Zone had
Baka
been long
kailangan mo na ng
forgotten by the
antibiotic.
There's no single founder of the Fortress of Meripede.
Titikman.
When the previous Hydro
Titikman
Archon,
mo.
Egeria, ruled the land, all
Sige.
convicted criminals from Fontaine
pa,
were
isa pa.
exiled.
Ibang tanong.
The people drove the criminals away
Same
like
pa
a
rin,
wolf
ulitin
pack,
ko lang.
chasing away the banished.
May 5 kang kapatid. Pangatlo ka. Pang-ilan yung bunso?
The criminals received no
Nota,
sympathy of any
sagot.
kind
Ang
from the people.
lima.
They were exiled
Wow.
to the desolate seaside,
Mali.
where they experienced
Mali.
only pain, struggle, and the
Ulitin ko
bone-chilling
ulit.
cold.
Oh,
Some of them
sakit ulo niyan.
and
May
prayed to
5
the
kang
Hydro
kapatid.
Archon, asking if there
Ako
was still
nakamatos
anything
dito.
they could do.
Pangatlo ka.
The
Pang-ilan
Hydro
yung bunso?
Archon took pity on them and said, "You may go
Ilan
guard
ang
my
bunso?
secret
Panghuli.
deep underneath the waves."
Panglima.
And so, leaning on
Mali.
the power of the Hydro Archon, they gathered underneath the sea.
Ba't mali?
and began to build a
Masakit
fortress.
sa ulo mo.
They became a community
Yeah.
down. As the number of
Nalaglag
exiles
na rin ba brain
increased,
cells mo?
more and more people
Yeah,
joined the
sambong kita
community.
eh.
When the first
Uy,
group
wag
of
naman.
exiles died, they left the yet unfinished fortress to their
Sige,
successors.
tason na. Tapos sasabihin ko na yung sagot.
The Hydro Archon
May
continued to
5
lend
kang
their support,
kapatid.
allowing the
Ikaw yung
fortress
pangatlo.
and what it stood for to continue growing
Ah.
ever larger.
Pang-ilan yung
Before
bunso?
long, this dark underwater fortress became the sinner's only home. And with that, the people here
Panglima.
stopped referring to the fortress as a prison. They saw themselves as repenting sinners who would regain their freedom once they had sufficiently redeemed
Okay,
themselves.
sasabihin ko na. So, may 5 kang kapatid, di ba?
Yeah.
Ikaw yung pangatlo. So, bunso is pang-anim.
Ah.
Kasi 5 ang kapatid mo. So, kung kayong
Oh.
magkakapatid, 6 kayong magkakapatid.
What the fuck?
Nako, inisip pa ni Lota.
But as time went on, people also realized that the fortress was a lonely place. Once they had gotten used to life here,
Sabihin
they
ni
could no
Lota,
longer
may
feel
babae ba?
comfortable living in the overworld.
Uy,
Go.
may babae ba?
Nako. Patay tayo dyan.
Uy, pre, ganda ng ate mo.
May ate din niya si Rolin. Hi.
Uy,
Hi, Jerome.
Ay,
Jerome. Hi, Jerome. Uy, ba't mo nilalabas yung Jerome?
iwas sopas dapat.
Ay, wasopas.
Nalabas ang ano eh.
Ba't mo nilalabas yung teacher mo?
Ano yun?
Ano,
How to not give a F. Ba't mo nilalabas yan libro mo?
Anong
Once they had
specs
finished
ng
serving their
busy mo ngayon,
sentences, some people left and some
Lota.
others chose to stay. They
Mr.
find some
Lota?
idle position and let their withered souls fade away with the ancient secrets of the past. After many,
Tutuwa ko na lang
many
eh.
centuries, few people still remember the reason for the fortress's
Sabihin
founding.
niyan,
Bigla bang, ano,
6 na
Now they
LED.
see it as an integral
Ano,
pillar
hindi,
of Fontainean society,
nailaw.
as the place where criminals
Hindi.
deserve to be sent.
Maangas.
Maangas.
Anong specs ng PC mo, pre?
Oh, umiilaw.
pre. May mga fan. Tama. 2 monitor, yun.
Mechanical
Tapos may
keyboard.
keyboard.
Mechanical keyboard.
Sarap. Ah,
Now and
ganun
again,
ba?
researchers
Ganda naman
managed to
ang specs
break
ng PC
one
mo.
law or another and live out their
Very
days in the
detailed.
fortress. I learned all this from an
Tingnan mo na yung task
elderly
manager.
historian.
Buksan mo yung makikita mo
Everyone
doon.
else just thought he'd made it all up.
Wala akong free throw.
Now
Oh my
you know
god.
every
Wait
part
lang.
of that history is true.
Play-
Ay,
Making tayo.
ano ka pala, nagbobola-bola ka nga pala.
Indeed.
Wait lang.
It's just as
Task
the
manager.
prophecy says.
You are so good at handling
If
the
this
balls.
gate fails,
Yes,
then
sir.
everyone will be
Performance.
dissolved into the sea.
Tingin mo na,
Wait
pinitin mo yung, ano, tama, tapos tingin mo na lang, pinitin mo lang yung mga part.
File. Options. View.
Hindi, sa performance. Yung CPU,
Okay.
memory, GPU.
CPU. AMD Ryzen 3 3200G with Radeon Vega graphics.
Oh, yung RAM, ilang gig yung RAM mo?
16 eh.
Uy, sarap naman yan. Tapos yung GPU mo.
GPU is Nvidia GeForce GTX 1050
Uy,
T-Tech.
okay na.
Pwede na.
Titi na.
Naku. Pwede na.
Tatayo o tatayo?
Pwede na.
Matigas. Gago, laki naman suso nito. Ang laki ng susi nito.
Bastos ka ha. God.
Malaking susi kasi yung pinto niya, laki-laki oh.
God. 63. Post fade? Walang post fade. I have to give up my ball handling skills.
Uy, ball handling skills pala eh. Boss, magaling ka ba? Magaling ka ba mambola? Mambola-bola?
Galing.
Sarap na fried
Magaling.
rice.
Gago, ba't mukhang uod to?
To be frank, not really. But sadly, that hasn't stopped this prophecy from proving all too
Saan ko nga
accurate.
dito? Saan ba pwede dito
Prophecies
sa
are
memes?
troublesome things. Just
Tingnan mo,
hearing one
sarap
will
naman
create the
yan.
first wave of
Mukhang
panic.
uod.
Seeing signs of it will bring about the second, and actually
Patingin.
witnessing it in real time,
Pastingin.
the third.
Pastingin.
Let's go somewhere else.
Nakita
I
ko
wanna
agad
show you
picture ni
something.
Jerome. Yakap-yakap si Miriam. Wow!
Ito mo nakita.
Wow.
Parang magot.
Ito mo nakita yung picture namin.
This is it.
Ito, nandito.
Your Grace,
July.
perfect timing. The
July
results from our
5,
last round of
2023.
experiments have...
Wait, Jurier, he's not
Nung
alone.
kausap pa si Hoshi.
Huh? Lorvine and Jurier?
No need to panic, you two. I've already told them about our plan.
Okay, pwede pala lagyan to ng kimchi. One more second.
Nako. Wala na si si tropa. Ano? Kahit ang 195. The fuck? Oh, 6'3".
Hello?
Hello.
Don't you
287.
notice how?
Tumanga na.
What? After you warned us not to tell a single soul about any of this?
I'm skeptical as well. Are you sure they are trustworthy?
The results speak for themselves, don't they? These two may already know more than you could ever imagine.
All right then, if your grace insists.
They seem harmless enough, so I'll trust them for now.
Well, how about some reintroductions? This is Jurier, one of the highest-ranked researchers from the Fontaine Research
na-build
Institute.
ko?
He used to work under Edwin.
Playmaker.
I trust that you've heard of Edwin. Well, good. Saves me a bit of time explaining. Edwin's main areas of research were archaeum and gravimeters. As his assistant, Jurier is quite familiar with them as well.
Kaset tayo.
I hired him to be my technical consultant.
You want to blow up the fortress of Meripede?
Ah, what a lovely idea. I'm already imagining it in my head.
Gotta admit, I'm tempted as well.
Guys, focus! Focus!
That taskmaster over there is Miss Lorvine, and is also one of my technical consultants. While Jurier used to be Edwin's assistant, she used to be Jurier's assistant.
Ooh, are they together?
See, everyone keeps asking this question. Are you too sure you're not a couple and just using your work as a convenient cover?
Your Grace, I am not in a relationship with this man.
If I dated her, I'd officially be madder than Edwin.
Jeez, forget I said anything then. Follow me.
Whoa, there's another door that goes right up.
Your constant amazement makes it seem like the fortress can do anything.
But Paimon really thinks everything's super cool.
Ko, tinawag na.
Sabi, 8 hours ka na dyan, sabi.
Lagyan mo
Tayo
yung
ka naman
picture yung
dyan.
ilalim, mamantika.
Ha? Eh,
Well, let's spice it up a bit. And here you go.
Wow!
What a huge ship! This is also a production zone that Paimon's never seen before. What's going on?
How much do you know about Fontainian history?
Not much at all.
Well, then maybe you haven't heard the story of ancient Lemuria. To give you a quick rundown, Fontaine used to be ruled by the Lemurian dynasty. According to legend, the Lemurian king Remus came to this land after being inspired by divine revelation and found the seer Sibila, who had taken on the form of a golden bee. Taking the golden bee with him and riding on a huge ship, the Fortuna, he created his nation above the surging waves. He called his nation Lemuria, and used the Fortuna to incessantly search for new tribes and islands, calling on them to join his empire.
There's a ship in this story too?
Where there's water, there'll be ships. People believe that hope can always be found at the end of a voyage.
Do you believe that too?
To a point, I think. As you've already seen, I have a whole factory's worth of labor, materials, and technology at my disposal. Certainly can't hurt to give it a try. So the moment I began to speculate that the primordial sea might lie underneath the gate, I also began this project.
Were you inspired by the legendary Fortuna?
Maybe. Fontainians need something to hold on to cope with the impending disaster. Were the workers to find out the truth behind this ship, riots would destroy the fortress faster than any catastrophe. As the fortress's administrator, I'd never make such a reckless call. All right, that's enough talking for now. I'll need another 3 cups of tea to soothe my throat. Do you have any other questions? Seems like you're good. Come on, I'll take you back.
I have to get this off my chest, I'm telling you today. And when I
I'll leave you here for now.
Just right through.
Thank you so much.
No worries. But don't forget, it's up to you whether or not you want to share what you just saw. What you do from here on out will likely affect those three as well.
I love Levy. Eh, Lofi pala tatawag ko para i-correct ako ng mga ano,
Yeah, we'll put a lot of thought into it for
mga
sure.
fan. Ah, ganun ba? Turo mo ka sa akin yung history nila.
Great. I look forward to what happens next.
Parang ano lang BBM ako tapos ikaw correct ka lang. Go po. Nako po.
Yan ang tactics. Okay, good terms na kami nung boss dito sa prison.
We're back!
Welcome back.
How can you be so much like Risley, always drinking tea?
Huh. Actually, now that you mention it, I just remembered something now. While I was sedated, I could still barely hear two people talking next to me. They were discussing everything, from the leaves to the water and even the teacups themselves.
Must have been Risley and Seashween.
Yeah, I heard one male voice and one female, so it should have been the two of them. They really were just talking about brewing tea.
I really can't make sense of this place.
So, Traveler, Paimon, were you able to learn anything from Risley?
Yeah, he explained everything.
Very well. Then, would you mind checking your answers against my speculations? Yeah, I took the time to rest, so I'm feeling a lot more relaxed now.
Wait lang ulit. Ay, bumili na ito, Joey. Musta ang pare kong mas pinili ang diskarte kaysa sa
Nobody else is
diploma?
around, and Miss Sejuin is also busy with something or
Ito
other.
manager na.
So let's just talk here.
All right, then I'll posit my theories. I asked myself 3 questions. Firstly, why was Fremine affected by the primordial seawater? It was because he dove into the sea. My theory is, the long-lost
Ito,
primordial
manager na.
He's good.
That's our Lenny.
Secondly, Risley's attitude changed dramatically during the course of our stay here. He ignored us completely at first. I spent quite a long time thinking about this. If he has been monitoring the Fatui since the very beginning, what's more, the Fortress of Meripede is not part of Fontaine's court system, nor does it report to Udex Nervulet. Risley is basically the king of a no-man's land. As long as the fortress doesn't do anything about Master Child's disappearance, Father can use it to pressure the Fontaine authorities. And while the two factions are pitted against each other, Risley will be free to move between the parties of interest. If I had to guess, he probably has something that he's working on himself. It's likely related to the secret of the infirmary, but I just can't think of what it could be.
You're super smart.
Don't you know?
Thanks so much. Then finally, there's the last question. If Risley does have a plan, what could it be? All I know for now is that his plan probably has something to do with the changing nature of the seawater.
I get quiet.
He's even gotten Cloran to help him out.
So what else?
That can't be the full extent of what he's doing. There's probably
Bitaw,
a secret
pag nasa ulo ko
passageway
yung lyrics
behind the
ng
block
White
in the
Ferrari,
infirmary.
game
And
over
there's
na.
something big in the fortress that most people... I don't
Boss,
have enough
ang okay.
information, so I have no idea what his chip
White
might be.
Ferrari lang alagay. White Ferrari.
Let me guess. You have the last piece of the puzzle.
Saan tama?
Me. White Ferrari.
Gagawa ko
can't
ng
believe it.
card.
The sea
80 tapos 64.
will engulf everyone. Just like the prophecy said.
Could Risley have wanted to meet Father to figure out a way to deal with this crisis?
Ayoko ng
If you
shooting.
remember,
Gusto ko yung
I once
ano,
mentioned that
naalala
Father
ko, di
sees
ko
the
lang
House
magaling
of the
shooting
Hearth as her
sila.
base of operations,
Ay,
and
gusto
she
ko-
truly wants to resolve the crisis. But how could Risley have known that?
Or perhaps he didn't know and just wanted to bring Father over to his side, which could be why he said he just wanted to negotiate.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. I understand your concerns as well, Traveler. I'll figure out a way to pass this on to our father. The two of you have already aided us far too much. We probably wouldn't be standing here right now if not for you. If you ever need anything else going forward, please come to the House of the Hearth at any time. Though you may not share the sentiment, after all that we've gone through together, the three of us basically see you as family now.
You have my gratitude.
Thank you for protecting Linny when it really mattered. And thank you for sharing the secrets of
My
the fortress
love.
with us. We
It's
didn't
mine,
think you were
oh
going to do it.
mine.
Why are you being so formal all of a sudden?
Nothing in the world belongs to me. Nako.
Paimon's hungry.
I could
Oh,
Alright, then we'll catch you guys another time.
So when I die, oh, it's your must to get a shot down here with you. Okay ng ina. Kiss my love is mine.
Nigga, wala nang babae sa kole.
Mine.
Wala nang babae sa kole. Nakakanta pa.
Come on, let's go pick up our
Mahiya naman.
Traveler and Paimon, over here. Are you here for dinner too, Miss Sijwin? Mm-hmm. And I'm taking the opportunity to prepare Miss Cloran's dinner as well. Huh. You're right. She's actually sitting in the fortress cafeteria. What would you like to eat? Yep, you can. I've already talked to our chef, Mr. Wolsey. It's all on me today, so you can get whatever you'd like.
Nangahakot tayo, boy.
Me too. Don't forget Paimon. No problem.
Watch from the windows. Those years outside looking in all the time. Never even know just how blind I've been.
Oh, yan naga. Nagpa-practice eh.
Feels to be freeloaders?
Ingay.
Wait a second. We
Ano
did
ba
do
itong
plenty
arm
of work
stand ko
after
nagawa
all.
ng pusa?
Feeling full yet? How's the food?
Pa, pinamulto ba ako?
Delicious.
Yan.
Tatakot sa multo.
Glad to see you all so happy.
Natatakot.
Oh, see, the expression on
Tsapain
your
ko yun
face
eh.
just now. But the muscle here just moved. which suggests that
sucking it.
you're feeling
Sabi
quite
natin.
relaxed at
Sucking
the
it.
moment. Siegewing,
Ba't nawala si Doc?
do you do this to help your patients or to better understand human beings? A bit of both, I suppose. I'm a Melazine, which means I'm very different from human beings. I must know what you're thinking if I want to take good care of you. You're really good at taking care of people. Even though you're so short, you still talk and act like an older sister. Really? You're reminded of an older sister? That's great to Oh, and what did you mean back in Risley's office? When you said that you were protecting Linny and his siblings as well?
Nothing in the world belongs to me.
That! I just asked His Grace to look out for those children, especially that diver boy.
Yun
I was
lagi ang
getting
may
a bit
tulad
worried
sa
after
story.
hearing
And
that
then,
something was wrong with the water. Thankfully, Galarian
Target
is very
audience, eh.
strong and managed to save him in the nick of time. Although the path was blocked, we still stationed some guards there to stop anyone from approaching. Oh, and I was keeping an eye on Mr. Linney as well. We had to press him, but we couldn't allow him to be in any real danger. You were all super considerate and really thought everything through. It's just what we do down here at the fortress. At least this has been His Grace's style for as long as he's been the leader. Oh, I really wish Monsieur Nervula would come down here more often too. I feel like he'd like it here, with all the darkness and chaos. Get a good night's rest, you two. You've both worked very hard.
Oh. Tangkad ah. Hi.
Clarand!
Ah, it's you two.
How's dinner?
It's all right.
yung ito na nabibid
Miss
ko.
Seaweed really put in a
Sakto.
lot of
Ito na.
effort.
So we heard
Perfect
that
build.
Risley invited you to come down to help, and you saved Fremine
Let's
too.
go.
You sure work super fast.
Let's...
Oh, it
Ito na
was
nga yung
child's
build.
play.
Still, Paimon didn't know even champion duelists could take on side jobs. Oh, and why aren't you eating with Siegewin and the Duke? Won't you get bored eating by yourself?
Miss Seaweed was with you. And the Duke has business of his own.
Actually, didn't Navia say that you went out for dinner with her as well?
Yeah. First time in a long time.
First time in a long time? So you mean you've gone out to dinner with her in the past?
In the past. Yeah. You seem to be enjoying yourselves here.
Never even know just how blind I've been.
Things will be getting messy at the fortress soon. Don't run around unnecessarily.
Kupo.
Kupo.
Bibit ako ng point card dito eh.
Kupo.
Yung... Kupo.
Time to sleep. Nasa kulungan pa rin ako. Oh.
Take it easy.
Tutulog ka na.
Hindi. Dito sa
Bigti
laro.
ka na.
Dito, dito sa laro tutulog.
Dire simulation ng buhay niya sa laro.
Paimon just feels absolutely exhausted now that she's
Dito na
finally
nag-revolve eh.
Dito pinagpapahinga yung
I'm super
karakter eh.
sleepy.
Tangina siya, 8 hours nagising eh, inang yarn.
8 hours sa
Lakas tama
ibang
eh.
klase.
Ako dati na 35 hours siguro sa comp shop.
Paimon won.
Wala pa yung mga stream na yan.
Uh,
Tangina 35 hours. 12 hours ako natulog eh. Nakakatulog na ako in-game eh.
wait, may nagyayari.
Ay, sorry.
Seryoso ata to.
Sobrang focus na dun sa game eh. Uy, may reality pa ha.
Hindi nabigay yan oh.
Ito, may reality pa tayo.
Sorry, napaano ko eh sa storya. Napakiligili na ako eh.
Napakiligili. Sige, idol.
Why is everyone running around?
Kapag ha?
Hey, what are you doing?
no time to explain,
Pag
mate.
nakita
Goodbye.
niya dyan, hindi siya matutuwa sa'yo.
Hey, wait!
Sabi mo.
What's wrong with these people? They won't even talk to us.
They're here.
Hindi ka na nang papaamuhin.
Paano yung mga babohok?
Quisto and Lavaroon, do you know what happened here?
We came here especially to inform you. Something seems to have gone terribly wrong just now. His Grace is telling everyone to evacuate. Lavaroon was saying you two are new here and you don't have many friends, so you might slip through the cracks. Haven't you heard all the stories like that? An evacuation is successfully completed. Yet you only find out once you do a head count that 1 or 2 people are missing.
Wait, weren't you the one who brought that
Set
up?
your
Why is it
potential.
suddenly my idea?
Hey, shut up!
Okay, whatever. The point is, you
81.
should come with us. Yeah, he said to get as far away as possible,
88.
upwards and outwards.
Parang di na tayo magto-turn over.
Oh no.
Si Wemby, second siya sa
Oh,
ano.
wait, what?
69.
Where are you going?
We have to go find the Duke. You
Saan?
just go and get out.
Palakasan mag-miss you.
Oo. Sa rookie.
Hey, hey! Be careful!
Okay na eh.
Attention. Please evacuate upwards.
Eh, ano eh. Mas maganda yung team ni ano eh. Ni Chet.
Already at the topmost layer, then try to move as far outwards as possible.
Si Josh Giddy.
Josh Giddy.
Attention. Please evacuate upwards and outwards. Upwards and outwards. If you're already at the topmost layer, then try.
Nothing in the world belongs to me.
84 postpaid natin is 42 delita. Tapos plus accuracy natin ay 70. Ball handling natin ay mamax natin, sabi.
Wait.
They're here.
Just like I said.
What happened?
You're just in time. But be ready to run.
Binokting mo.
3, 2, 1.
This won't hold it for long. Find Neuvillette. Tell him the defenses are about to collapse.
Then what will happen to you?
Until he arrives, we're the last line of defense. The gate. How long do you think it'll hold?
That depends on us.
I got a new letter from an informer.
Hello. Oy, diskarte. Tsaka paga.
Yeah. Andito. Andito lang palagi si Discarte.
Neuvillette, why are you here?
Traveler, I need you to head to the Opera House immediately. Farina will soon be meeting with the knave there. You must protect Farina and make sure she doesn't spend too much time alone with her. Will do. You have my sincerest gratitude.
Go to the opera house.
88.
Oops. Gravy naman. Nangyayari sa ano na to?
Gravy.
Sa story quest na to.
Look! There are a ton of Fatui and Palais Mermonia people over there! The knave is probably here already. We need to hurry!
Eventually
Are
magiging
you two
world
the
din to.
traveler in Paimon? Monsieur Nervalet
The
has
map?
left instructions. Please follow me. Though
Magiging
I'm sure
isang
he's already
continent.
explained, this should be a
Magta-travel ka,
mostly
magta-travel
cordial
ka.
conversation,
Oo.
unlikely to give rise to
Lalabas, di ka
violence.
manalabas sa
But it would be
bahay,
most
diyan ka
appreciated if you could
nagta-travel,
protect Lady Farina to the best of your abilities.
Good job. Nothing in the world belongs to me.
Oh, so you two are the honored guests Miss Farina mentioned.
Of course, of course! How could they not attend a meeting such as this? I must always have 2 or more guests at my dessert table. Otherwise, the occasion would be too lonely and unbecoming of my station.
It is my pleasure to make your acquaintance, traveler. I have heard much of your accomplishments. I am the Knave, one of the 11 Fatui Harbingers.
Oh,
I've
greetings.
already prepared seats for you. Come, sit beside me.
Perhaps you two are unaware of how Miss Farina and I do things. You see, we actually recently agreed to get together for tea when we had the time. See this? This is a limited type of confectionery that Miss Farina simply adores. There are only 16 slices sold every day. Here, why don't you and Paimon have a taste?
Traveler, what do you think of this cake?
That's good to hear. So what Child said was on the mark after all. You do share a taste in desserts with Farina and I. I wonder how he's doing nowadays. You must have heard, right? He's suddenly gone missing. I'm really worried about his safety, you know. Here's to hoping that he's an excellent swimmer.
Since we're talking about him, I feel like I should add something. His martial prowess really looked certainly pretty impressive, yeah.
Oh, so you're also familiar with his aptitude for fighting, Miss Farina. Oh, right. I almost forgot. Child was subdued by Udex Nuvillette right in front of you. Against ordinary people, my colleague would never be on the back foot. But alas, he just never imagined he'd run into such a person. I must express my admiration for Monsieur Nuvillette. Coming from you, that's not surprising at all.
But I thought you would be happier to hear the news.
Of course, but it's still a bit of a shame. You see, I would have been far happier had I received this news somewhat earlier. As you well know, a long time has passed since Child disappeared.
Well, in any case, there's no need to worry. We know for sure that Child is still alive.
Oh, and just how do you know that?
Because we found evidence that proved he left the Fortress of Meripede.
And where did he go after leaving the fortress?
Well...
The Fortress of Meripede lies deep beneath the waves. Unless he pranced right out of the main gate, he must have had to swim for it. Do you have any proof that he surfaced safely? Ah, that is good news at least. His sister Tonya sent a letter to Fontaine not too long ago. Since he was unfortunately unavailable, I picked it up on his behalf. Do you have any idea how he usually writes back to his family? Dear Tonya, your letter made me feel like we were still enjoying our time in Snezhnaya together. I'm currently admiring the scenery on the streets in front of the opera house.
All letters tend to follow the same few formats anyway, right? As long as the contents are accurate, it doesn't matter so much how it's written or how it's worded. Huh? Hold on. The water in the teacup is shaking.
I suppose this is also a sign of things to come, Miss Farina.
Huh? I don't quite understand what you're trying to say.
Have we entered into the next stage of the prophecy?
Patay na prophecy na.
The mellow ball.
My thanks to you both. I will take it from here.
Sure you don't need a hand?
Quite sure.
Wow. So, what's your secret, huh? Let me guess. Nah, who knows? Maybe it's just your sense of responsibility.
Sounds about right.
A day may come when the prophecy is fulfilled, and the waters burst forth. But it is not this day! This ancient power could easily obliterate an entire race. A tsunami of fury would unleash endless catastrophe. This sentence is too severe. Forgive me for overruling it.
Ano ba yarn? Nagawa mo.
All right. Seems like the problem inside has been suppressed.
Let me guess. We're safe for now.
Indeed. But only for now.
I win this bet. You owe me a present.
Very well. It was indeed just as you said.
You made a bet?
We made a bet on the size of your entourage. Cloran thought you wouldn't come down by yourself.
I figured you would have at least brought a few people along for appearance's sake. It appears I underestimated just how confidential the mission was.
Shouldn't you have gotten used to confidential missions by now? That's just how the courts operate.
So what gift must the loser give? Tea?
He already has tons of tea in his office. I'm thinking about a set of legal codices.
That wouldn't happen to be a dig at my lack of legal awareness, would it?
Well, I'm sure His Grace doesn't consider the fortress to be outside the law.
I was under the impression the residents of a place like this would be uninterested in the legal codices.
That was obviously a joke. Anyway, you've still got some unfinished business to attend to in the overworld, correct?
No need to stay here if you have a pressing matter. We all know you can't leave Palais Mermonia for long.
Thank you. I hope everything went smoothly with the Fatui Harbinger.
I must say, We've spent long enough playing house. Miss Farina, as the Hydro Archon, I am sure you understand the exact meaning of the phenomenon we just witnessed. Or should I say, that's what I originally thought. But looking at your expression, was I wrong? And you haven't a clue?
What are you trying to say?
At this point, I don't think there's any more need to speak as diplomatic representatives. Allow me to speak to you now as just a Fontainian. You know the prophecy by heart, and also that every part of it is being proven true. Yet, here you are, relaxing, drinking tea, and eating desserts as if it's all nothing more than a few stray bugs in your garden. Do you really think that's acceptable? The prophecy's hanging above our necks like a guillotine. Every faction is looking for a way to either avert the disaster or save their own. Even the orphans of the House of the Hearth have devoted everything to saving their homeland. But you? It beggars belief just how nonchalant and carefree you have been. From the very beginning, you, the god Focalor, you have utterly failed to take action.
You're wrong. I've never ignored the prophecy, nor have I just been passing the time in self-indulgence. Retract your accusation and stop doubting the wisdom of the gods with such absurd conjectures.
I am not alone in my doubts, you know. All the children of Fontaine may be harboring the exact same thoughts right now. Oh, great Hydro Archon. How are you going to save them? Save us? How are the people you've sworn to protect supposed to survive in a land that will soon disappear beneath the waves?
I have my ways, and I've been working on them for all this time. Even if you look down upon me, you have no right to judge me. Fontaine will be saved. Even if I still cannot see the true future right now, as long as I continue on as I am, I will be able to hold my head up high.
Then I ask you, Miss Farina, just what have you been working on? Where can we see it, and what is it doing to help?
Hello.
Saan ka na? My God, kumaalis.
Nag-ano lang ako, Be.
My
May ginawa na ako
machinations
sandali, Be.
are just like the prophecy itself.
God.
They will only reveal themselves
sorry,
at the fated
Matalo.
time.
For sure.
It is just that beings like yourselves are unable to perceive them as of yet.
I see. As a god, the proof of your labor always
Bakit
lies
ka
beyond
nagbabakla?
prying mortal
For
eyes.
sure.
Yeah.
Allow me to be so bold as to ask another way. Would it be possible for you to tell us the parts of your plan that are not confidential? Such as your emergency response plan for the impending disaster?
Tapos naalala ko may dalawang linggo ng ano.
Emergency
Hindi na
response.
charge yung mouse ko.
Oh,
Naglalaro na
that
bigla
look in
namatay.
your eyes. Have
Di
you
wired
not
mo
even
na.
prepared one of those?
Oh, pinaware.
The emergency response plan is also strictly confidential.
Then allow me to jog your memory. Miss Farina, what is the purpose of your Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse Cardinal? And what do you plan to do with the massive amounts of indemnitium that has accumulated over the years?
The Oratrice? It's just like it appears to be.
So you also have no idea. If I'm not mistaken, someone's using it to prepare for something. But unfortunately, it would seem that someone is not you, Miss Farina. I first caught wind of this when Linny tried to investigate the Oratrice in the Opera House. You see, even just getting close to the core contaminated him with an extremely large amount of indemnitium. But even if that had nothing to do with you, then what could you possibly be working on, oh great Hydro Archon? Oh, right. I almost forgot. Udex Neuvillette is not at the tea party with us today. Miss Farina, I suppose you must have ordered him away to take care of some troublesome business.
Yeah, yes, that's exactly right. Please keep it a secret for me.
Of course I will. Although, I must say, Miss Farina, you seem quite insecure without the Udex by your side. Oh, very well. Let's stop that conversation here. There are still a few slices of cake left, so please, help yourselves, everyone.
Bukas na lang tayo ng hapon.
Ba't ganun?
Yeah.
Traveler, I heard that you were recently commissioned to handle a few matters on behalf of the Udex. Why don't you take an extra slice of cake?
Ano?
Those who work hard deserve gratitude
what?
and praise. You too, Paimon.
Oh, Jerome, Malboro Blue daw.
Thank you.
Huh?
Paimon will take you up on that offer.
Malboro Blue? Naku, nagkaka-flashback ako eh.
Uy, tangina bakit? Ano meron? Yun din ba yung inaano nyo?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Anyways.
Yung red pang matanda.
Yan, si Lota magta-30 na.
Hoy.
Super full.
Kamaingay.
That cake was great.
Pushing 30 na eh. Mga kaibigan niya, 19.
If it's on my
Si Rolly
tea
na.
table,
15
it
lang
must be
yan.
of the highest quality.
15 lang ako.
Yes, and we must thank the knave
Kaso
for
mga
bringing
10
these
taon na
over
akong
as
15.
well.
You're welcome. I'm sure the
Love.
cake also felt greatly honored to be featured at Miss Farina's table.
Kasi I was
And I
born
was
at a
merely
very
catering
young
to Miss
age.
Farina's
Yun yung
tastes,
pinaka
seeking a
number one
chance to
problem ko na
chat over tea.
pinoproblema ko eh.
It is
Bakit
getting late.
naman?
Why don't we call it a
Kasi
day?
yung because
There are still a few matters
is the
that I need to
start
take
of the
care of,
simula
so
ng aking problem.
I must take my leave now.
Hindi ko ma-explain kasi hindi ko rin maintindihan. Hindi ko
Dapat sa
maipaliwanag
bunganga
sa inyo.
ko.
Si Lota, pinanganak para mag-drop out.
Wait, tangina.
Hoy, graduate niya si Rolly. Ako lang drop out.
Eh, ikaw.
Ah, ako ba?
Hindi.
So what?
Kasi ganito, kapag nag-drop out ka, ibig sabihin nun,
May
pwede kang
diskarte.
gumawa ng senior high. Ha?
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 Very
Diba?
well. We'll end
Ano,
I'm
ano?
seeing me off, traveler. We could
Pag-
use the opportunity to discuss child
Pag-
before I must be on my way.
Pag nag-drop out ka, siyempre, hindi na rin gumalaw yung years mo na.
Paimon's coming too!
Kaya kaya ng senior high, pwede mong... Technically, di ba? Hindi ka umabot sa ano, di ba? You're forever in that, anong tawag nito? In that grade. So, ibig sabihin, it's normal, di ba? Senior high.
The tea party turned out to be even more difficult than I'd imagined.
Senior high teacher, to naman.
Why are you looking at me like that? Is something the matter?
God.
If there's nothing urgent, then I shall be retiring for now.
Bakit yung pie chart na to? Malaking grade. Grade. Wow, this one.
Oratrice Mécanique de Lenis. Cardinal.
Yes, si Rolly naglalaro din ata ng Genshin yan.
Hindi, hindi ako naglalaro.
Oratrice Mécanique de Lenis Cardinal.
Wala akong ganun. Ano ba yun? Ano ba yung Genshin?
Palaki ang tite.
Oh,
Ayun ba yun?
baka mas malaki ang sa ano,
Mas malaki yung kay Yula.
Oh,
Sa ano? Sa...
Tran.
Tangina, search mo,
Tite?
who has the biggest tits in Genshin?
Si ano, si
I'm
Shenha.
glad that you were willing to come with
Oh,
me.
siya sa ngayon
That's
iniisip
what
ko eh.
Paimon thought.
Futanari.
Kasi kitang-kita mo, gago.
May ganun ako eh. Shenha. Patanari.
Futanari.
Biggest. Oh, siya nga.
Oh, lahat ako si Jerome. Alam.
Shenha, Lisa, Beidou.
You lent your aid to the children of the House of the Hearth. As their
Pre-nerf
father,
Rosaria.
I would like to express my gratitude.
Pre-nerf Rosaria nga.
Hindi yung pre-nerf. Hindi kasing laki nung kay Shenha.
Yeah, pero contender boy.
Oo, contender.
O ano yan, di ako
That was all.
makarelate.
Formal topics should be discussed in formal settings, and informal topics in informal settings. I know you just returned from the fortress of Meripede. Relax. I have no intention of trying to get anything out of you. Linny, Lynette, and Fremine are still there, and I trust their judgment and abilities.
They've all been working very hard and have always done all they can to fight back against anyone who tried to stop them. Especially Lenny.
You mean Wriothesley. He's a tricky one to deal with. It's unfortunate that Lenny's so eager to prove himself that he can't learn to rely on others, including me. By the way, and you can just consider this a bit of idle gossip, but what's your impression of Farina? You are outside of our disputes, and the freest person in all of Fontaine, able to move around most easily. Allow me to share my perspective with you.
That's everything that happened during the trial. Master Child was declared guilty and immediately transported to the fortress of Meropide.
Alam ko talaga yan.
Didn't he
Kay
say he
Tars
was
ako
coming here on
ano eh.
vacation? Does he not feel an ounce of shame for all the trouble he has caused?
Big balls. Tong ina yun.
Big ball.
Forget it. He did give us an opportunity.
Big squishy balls.
I will be meeting someone
Kinuha
shortly.
titi dun eh. Iba animation.
Aliwa titi.
No need. I will take care of it myself.
Aliwa titi.
Ang gala na muna
The
eh.
Hydro Archon. She is the heart of Fontaine. But what's fascinating
So
about
kita mo
her is
magbabal
that
siya hanggang
she
chest
often
gago.
seems more like a celebrity than a working Archon.
Ewan ko lang kung madudugyot
Come
ako.
over here, you little critter, you.
Ma-horny ako sa mga ganun eh.
You
Gago may
dare to run from
report
me?
dito, nag-joke lang daw yung na kainuman tas
My
binaril.
goal is just to discover the location of the Gnosis. But I didn't expect the chance to
Uy, pre,
approach
medyo ako.
Farina to be handed to me on a silver platter.
Normal na yun ah.
This is so easy, it's actually making me a bit
May kainuman ka, lolokohin mo
Anything
sa may
left
baril.
unguarded is
Sakto,
usually
okay lang
just
naman.
bait.
Parang yung
But
money
no one will blame someone for taking the bait. After all, from
Ni-
the moment it was attached to the hook,
nice people.
the bait
Oh, yung
is
mga yun.
meant to be sacrificed.
Nagbabarilan sila lagi.
It's just as I guessed in the second
Ano,
before I
magkano
struck.
pamasahe dyan sa
The
Laguna?
Hydronosis is not currently held by the Archon. In fact,
Okay na.
this
600?
Archon doesn't
Utang
seem
ina,
like a
never mind.
god at all. And
Laguna? Ba't
I
ka pupunta
sense
sa
that she's
Laguna?
under
Sino
some
pupuntahan
kind of
mo?
curse.
Ikaw.
Ha?
Who are you?
Ulol.
Trying to do?
Hindi, pinapapunta ako ng lola ko.
Don't kill me. I'm begging you, please.
May
Punta ka na.
ihatid akong gamit
Pupils is
sa
genuine.
ano,
So perhaps
sa
she's not bait
tawag
after
nito.
all.
Putang ina.
Either way, targeting her has lost all
Anong
meaning.
tawag nun?
Hmm.
San Pablo.
I left the scene with ease. Nobody came looking for me,
Oh,
and
siya,
nobody could
Bing
serve as a witness to my near assassination of
Kung nga
Halcyon.
siya ay Bing
I suspect even Farina dares not mention this incident to anyone. Not long after, my informants confirmed what I had guessed. After returning to her quarters,
Ilang
she
kilo?
quietly cried aloud.
1 kilo lang, boss.
There's no doubt that there's something
Pero
wrong with
tingi-tingi
her.
ko ibibenta,
I began to entertain the possibility that she is
Pag-isahan,
not the true Hydro Archon.
Titikman.
Eudex Neuvillette
Ano
is
usapan niyo?
actually the genuine article. I have to find the Gnosis. If
Yung
the
kilikili.
Neuvillette hypothesis is
Yan.
correct, he is probably in possession of it. Alternatively, it might have been hidden in a place that's hard for ordinary people to access.
kasi sa sobrang
Yes,
lakas ng
Father.
kilikili, nakagising eh.
My dear children,
Nako po.
please speak.
News from the fortress
Patay
of
na.
Meropide.
Kapag gising na
Master-
gising ako, syempre.
Master Child has
gising
gone
ang
missing.
diwa ko.
On top of that,
Pati mata
the
ko.
contacts and guards we bribed at the fortress have all gone quiet as well.
Nako.
Probably the handiwork of that
Pwede na.
Wriothesley.
Mga ganun.
I'm afraid so.
Ito yung mapapasinghot ako eh.
This is a good
Sisinghotin.
opportunity. The value of a harbinger is much higher than most would imagine. We now have an excuse to exert diplomatic pressure on the
Should I
Fontaine
build this one?
authorities. Set up a meeting for me.
Or at least
I would
make
like to meet the Hydro Archon and Eudex Neuvillette. Oh, and I have an additional mission for you three.
Rotrice Mécanique de Lenis Cardinal.
Yes, Father. Tartaglia's disappearance was not a
Ito
part of
dun,
my
ano daw eh,
plan, but I
hindi
can
niya
use
masabi
it to make a breakthrough.
nang hindi siya nagra-rhyme.
With this as my excuse, I can ask. The initiative belongs to the House of the
Ang ina
Hearth.
nun.
My wish to investigate the fortress
We
of
now
Mercury will
turn
be a front.
to the oratrice
Lenny
mécanique
and
de
his
Lenis
group will be
Cardinal.
responsible for the
Cardinal.
actual intelligence gathering.
Ilang beses ko nakikita yun sa ano eh.
TikTok, nakita
Sa
mo yung Go?
YouTube eh. Kita ko na.
Yeah, gusto ko.
Kaya na yung last na lalaro ko sa Genshin na yun. Dragon's Line pa yung ano eh.
You should know the rest. Lenny's
Tagal
group
ko
is
na hindi
quite close
naglalaro
to
eh.
you.
Oh,
So
yung story
they
na lang
wouldn't have
ginagawa ko.
hidden anything from you.
Ikaw ako na down ko.
You attacked the Hydro Archon?
It wouldn't mean anything even if you shouted it from the rooftops. After all, even Farina herself is still pretending that nothing of that sort ever happened.
Alright then.
I've now had 2 chances to enjoy tea with Farina. I have to say, the leadership of Fontaine is even more inscrutable than I had imagined. I once surmised that Eudex Neuvillette must be the Hydro Archon, but now, that doesn't seem right to me either. I am a servant of Her Majesty the Tsaritsa. Over my years of service, I've learned how a real Archon conducts and carries themselves. Whether Eudex Neuvillette or Farina, neither fits the bill. It's hard to imagine either of them as the Archon.
Ba't yung titi ko tatlong butas?
That is all
Health
just
normal
how I
lang ba yun,
feel.
guys?
Gut feelings often
Parang
do
yung
not
stroke sa
require
Chucky dati.
justification. It is quite amusing to me that after all my years working in intelligence gathering,
Ang binaril sa
I've
victory
come to
line.
realize I am at a complete loss regarding the identity of the god of the land.
Iba pa yun.
Don't you think Fontaine is quite intriguing?
Sabi mo, chill right lang. Ba't pumutok yung utak ng isa?
Ano yung pinag-usapan
It looks
nyo?
like Fontainians will have no choice but to
Secret.
save themselves. Ultimately,
Pang
though,
mga malalaki ang
one
betlog
must
lang yung mga yun.
survive in order to
pa-check
do
up na.
anything else. Should the
Yun
need
yung mga
arise, I
betlog
would be
na
happy to
kayang
cooperate
i-cure ang
with you.
world hunger.
You don't need to commit to anything
Kaya
right now,
magpakain
of
ng mga
course.
African kids yung
I
betlog
have a
namin.
feeling that the situation will continue to evolve. And as your name is often connected with noble deeds, I'm sure we will work together
Or at least
someday.
mechanic.
He certainly returned quickly.
Hindi na yakin, no?
You must want to catch up with each other, so I'll leave you to him.
Noini Aquino.
Ninoy. Namatay na.
Is it over?
For now, yes.
Sa
But this
bugulo,
issue
let's
will
go.
prove quite thorny in the long term. I'm concerned that sooner or later the prophesized events will occur. Thank you
tinatawag
for
na boom
protecting
headshot?
Farina.
Titikman.
To put it simply, I used my power to force back the primordial sea and reseal the sluice gate. So as expected, the knave has turned up the pressure on Farina. She's trying to feel her out, but I'm still unsure as to her motives. Permission granted.
Lasang bakal, malapit na. What? What?
Whoa. It can't be that you're the real Hydro Archon,
maybe.
right? But that's just a speculation on our part, though. You can't tell us? Then that's okay. We can talk about something else. We won't try to force you. You guys in Fontaine are super strange.
If by the phrase "you guys" you are referring to Farina and I, then although I'm not sure just what you are trying to imply, I must clarify that I do not share her positions on a multitude of topics. I believe so. The fortress has a long and complex history. It has seen much grief and suffering. And now, another catastrophe will soon be upon us. I mourn this turn of events.
Huh? Why is it raining all of a sudden?
Yan. Stick putin available.
You may be closer to the truth than you think.
Oh? And what are you
Nagbabalorant ba kayo?
Si Jerome, malakas siya maglaro.
Hindi na masyado. Nawala na yung aking ano dun. Yung...
Wala yung kilikili.
Di, ano yung
Nawala yung kilikili.
satisfying na chemical na hinano ng brain mo?
Tama ka na 8 hours.
Naubos na yung ganun ko sa Val.
Please do
Naubos
not
sa 8
be
hours.
so surprised.
Dopamine.
Wala akong tutok sa balo kaya...
Kasi Jason, 2 taon na naglalaro ng bulok pa rin.
Ang hirap! Mahirap mag-shooting game. My God.
Lahat ng gagawing mali, ginagawa.
Sovereign of water, right?
Tama.
Well, if you don't want to confirm or deny...
Anong safe
You guessed
paper
correctly.
Anong paper picks?
I sincerely hope
Pasok.
you'll be able to keep this a secret.
Ilalabas ang ulo.
Hindi
Ba't
pa
mo
kaya
ilalabas
napasok si
ulo mo?
Lota ng bebe.
Hindi ako na pa. Bebe ko lang kakampi ko.
Duelist siya, tas ng bebe siya, hindi niya alam.
Right, of course. We'll definitely help you keep it a secret. There's still something Paimon wants to ask
Kahit na
you,
naggawa
though.
Please, go ahead.
Yeah,
Well,
medyo
if
mababa
you
brain
are
cells
the
ko kaya
dragon
ano
sovereign
ako
of
dun,
water,
silver.
and you were able to force back the primordial sea from the fortress,
Silver na
since
namumula.
Fontaine's prophecy is
Na
all
medyo
about
gold.
seawater, couldn't you just use your power to solve the crisis?
None of the currently living dragon sovereigns in the world, myself included, possess our full dragonhood. They say that when the first usurper arrived on Tivat, they seized a part of the dragon's power. Today, that stolen power is the basis of the Archon's authorities.
Yung
There are
Valorant, parang
7
naglalaro ng
elemental
League ng
archons
puta.
and 7 matching dragon
Oh.
sovereigns.
CS, naglaro ko na matagal ng CS2 eh, tas bumalik ako sa Valorant, parang naglalaro ng child's game talaga eh.
The dragon
Yeah.
sovereign of water who lived
Ibang
through
iba.
that era perished a long time ago. As their successor, I know far less of that part of our ancient history. In any case, I believe I will not be able to do much unless the Archon disappears and returns their elemental authority to me.
Anong oras na?
Given the status quo, however, I would
8.
recommend finding another way to deal with the prophecy.
8 pa lang pala.
Oh, so even you can't
8,
solve
10.
it.
I still have some urgent matters to attend to at my office. If you have any more questions regarding ancient history, you are welcome to discuss them with me at a later time.
Please go right ahead. There's a place that Paimon wants to go too.
Ano ba gagawin mo?
Traveler, why don't we pay another visit to the Fortress of Meripede? Paimon is a little worried.
Manonood ang movie ng 9.
Ah,
We'll see you another
Tapos
time.
matutulog na.
50
Take
minutes
care.
pa.
15 minutes bago sumabog ang mundo.
Oh my god, natapos ka na yung quest. Wala na ako sa
Tapuan.
kulungan.
Pantuan Maguindanao. Massacre.
No, babalik na naman ako.
Gago, huwag ka babalik.
Wala eh. Sabi eh.
My God. Bloated ng mukha ko dito sa game na to.
Oh my god, saan ako pupunta?
Ay, Rolling, pwede pala tayo maglaro ng LOL. One game.
Ayoko mag-lol.
Ay, sa iyo.
Unlock siya.
Ayoko mag-lol.
Kiss kita eh.
Yun.
Sige nga. Sige nga.
Lap-lapin kita eh.
Medyo nga.
Sige nga. Medyo mo.
Sa kulungan uli ako, guys.
Gago, kinulong.
Mahaba na quest pare sa Fontaine.
Now guess, what suit will this next card
Ano,
be?
panty, gago. Haba daw ng
A
panty.
bare-teeth cat?
Well, well, look who it is.
Traveler, Paimon.
Looks like you're recovering nicely, Fremine.
Thanks. Oh, right. I managed to work up the courage to thank Miss Clorant in person.
Whoa, how did she react?
She told me that it was nothing. It was as if saving a life wasn't a big deal to her at all.
She didn't want to stress you out, that's all. She's right, and it's best not to dwell on it.
Yeah.
Okay, but check this out. We went back to the opera house and we met the knave.
You met father?
Oh my
Did she
god,
say
ang
anything
cute
to
ng
you?
character ko.
She said a few things that were, a bit hard to understand. And also that she's looking forward to working with us in the future.
Her attitude towards you is even better than what we'd imagined. That's fantastic. You should believe her. She has her own way of doing things, and she'll do everything in her power to help those she considers close, which now might also include you.
Mm-hmm. Father is very capable and also trustworthy.
Oh, Paimon just remembered that she thought Lenny was a bit too proud as well. She said that you should learn how to rely on others sometimes.
Got it.
That does sound like something that father would say.
Hey!
Are you going to stay here for the next few days?
Looks like it, yeah.
What?
Excellent. I will host a tea party.
For real? Then Paimon wants another serving of cake.
Another implies that you were already served some delicious cake while you were up there. How lovely. Well, next time, you're going to have tea and snacks with us.
Nagpapakamatay.
Ano yan?
Aba, babalik daw ako sa kulungan.
Binalik sa Africa. I mean, what?
Traveler!
Baka manuwes ka ako dito.
Are you still doing alright? We're fine, but what about a few people sustained superficial injuries? But that's about the extent of the damage. Monsieur Nervillette paid us a visit. It was all thanks to him that we managed to suppress the crisis for the... Oh, of course, we must... How did Nervillette know that he was needed here? Well, Monsieur Nervillette has strong resonance with the hydro element. When the water level rises, he can feel the waves produced. I ran into the bombshell bros while bandaging the injuries of the wounded. They were mumbling the whole time about how you just ran down without a word. I'm so relieved to see that you're both alright. If you're not too pressed for time, please stay with us a few more days. Just let me know if you get a craving for any particular dish, so I can have Mr. Walsey get your meals prepared. Oh, and please feel free to visit the infirmary for a break at any time. I'd like to take the opportunity to spend some more time observing your facial muscles as well. Your happy smiles are quite contagious, you know. They're so memorable, and I've missed them immensely while you were gone.
Nanay mo may 10 inches.
You guys are back?
Crystal! Macaroon!
You guys didn't get caught and thrown back down here, right?
Huh? No, not at all.
Ah, and here I thought you'd managed to escape from jail during all the commotion. I'd held you up as legendary jailbreakers, but now you're telling me you just never left?
We're sorry, but we just had some business to take care of.
All right. There's no need to get caught up in the details. We're just relieved to see you.
Ngayon na pala, tangina mo, Jerome.
Hey, it wasn't just me.
Mamatay ka na.
Weren't you super...
Something. I was also transferred to
3
work in the
minutes.
kitchen a few days ago. Whenever he'd say that, I'd tell him I'm sure they're fine. Wherever they are,
Titiwala
they're
sa
kicking
akin.
back
Dalawa
with
na nga
drinks in
monitor, di
hand,
pa kita yung
enjoying the
oras.
lovely scenery.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with worrying about your prison pals.
Sorry.
Is there? I mean, considering how they always love listening to all my gossip.
These two. They
Sarap ng
sure are a
kuryente,
lot warmer
400
and
lang.
friendlier than when Paimon first met them.
Siyempre, may hap.
May hap.
Oh, well, if you say so.
Sa kapit
I'll be
bahay
watching you to
nakasaksak.
make sure you finish every last one.
Hoy, huwag ka maingay. Yan yung aking sikreto.
Rente ng kapitbahay, gago 20k, diba?
Ano, nakasaksak sa ano eh.
Katakpan diretso sa Meralco.
Diretso sa titi mo.
Oh.
Sa boto sa titi
Oh.
mo. Bye-bye. Alis na ako.
Titi ko.
Love you. Ang patuan mo sa her.
Ano yan, makapag-jokel na nga lang.
Bye! Natapos ko na itong mission sa Genshin.
Courier? Miss Sishwin told me you still haven't eaten.
Yeah, I was working on something, so I forgot.
That's no excuse for... Huh? What's you two?
Lurvine, we're back!
Hello there. It's been quite the mess here recently. How have you been?
And you? Are you still taking the secret passageway from the infirmary to work on the ship?
Yep. That is still top secret, though. So don't say a word to anyone.
It can be a bit annoying when there are lots of people in the infirmary, but I still prefer taking that route over the one from the Duke's office.
I mean, the infirmary does make it easier for you to slack off.
Oh yeah? Then why are you also here so much?
You two really are just using your jobs as a cover for your relationship, aren't you?
Not at all!
Do my eyes deceive me, or did I just see two inmates come back after making it to the surface? Some strange winds blowing of late.
We wanted to see how the fortress is doing. Is everything still alright?
We're fine, for the most part. Neuvillette came down and took care of the worst of it.
If that's the case, why don't you just ask him to stay here?
Oh, yeah, what a brilliant plan. Let's go convince the Udex himself to exchange the courts of Fontaine for a puddle of water in the middle of nowhere. He came here in a hurry and left without even stopping for a cup of tea. He did remember to take Miss Sijween's gift with him, though.
He sure sounds super busy.
Miss Cloran has left as well. She also took her gift from Miss Sijween.
Were the gifts milkshakes?
Neuvillette got the milkshake. Cloran received lipstick instead.
Those aren't even remotely alike.
Well, it's Neuvillette's own fault for making Sijween worried about his health by working so much. But besides that, our head nurse is still pretty fond of picking out beauty products for the ladies. Oh, and I have some gifts here for you as well.
Are these from Sijween too?
Nope, they're from yours truly. You've already wrapped up your work at the fortress, so you can return to the surface at any time.
Finally.
You haven't yet served your full prison term, however, so you may continue to use your cell until your term is up.
For real? Then we could stay here for a really long time?
You may access the cafeteria for free.
Hooray!
Just remember to come complete your paperwork once it's time for your release.
Tea time.
We're back in our cell again. We're no longer prisoners though, so it really doesn't feel the same. Being free sure feels pretty special now. Huh? How did you know? Hey, that's not true! Alright. Okay, Paimon just wanted to say that we really are an amazing duo after all. It's like we've now gone to so many places together and become friends with so many people. We've never stopped traveling or stopped meeting new friends. There are so many bad things in the world, and we're just two people, but we've still been solving problems no matter where we go. Isn't that pretty cool? You're counting Paimon today? Aren't you the only adventurer here? Then let's ask Catherine to give Paimon an adventurer handbook as well. Paimon will also be an adventurer from today forward. Just the thoughts making Paimon giddy. Paimon's gonna crash, so you sleep soon too. The last time we fell asleep here, we woke up to a whole mess outside our cell. The primordial seawater nearly rose up. That was so scary. We should be safe now, right? Alright then, good night to you, traveler.
Complete paperwork. Act 5. Wait until next day. 8. No, wait, no.
Now for a little rest after breakfast. Wait a sec. Isn't something important supposed to happen today? Oh, today's our big day! We're supposed to leave the Fortress of Mirapede!
Act 5. Actually, we just leave, right?
Take it easy.
Ha ha ha.
Please, sign here. This document will be effective immediately upon signing, and you two may exit the Fortress of Mirapede via the regular channels.
It's been so long since we've been to the surface. Let's hurry up and... Huh?
What's happening?
Dude.
I'm fine, thanks. But I wonder what that tremor was just now.
Let's go ask the Duke.
Let me out.
Take it easy.
Let me out.
Your Grace?
Ah, good to see you two. Is there something you wish to see me about?
Yeah, what was with that earthquake just now?
Ah, that. The tremor didn't originate from the seafloor. In fact, it seems it came from the surface. Over the years of serving as the warden here, I've developed a sense for distinguishing between what occurs on the surface and what occurs underwater. Besides, the seal that Monsieur Neuvillette set in place won't fail so easily.
So the fortress is okay?
If you recall our last incident, if there really were a problem, there would be crowds of inmates in a panic right now.
Huh, you've got a point. Okay, seems we need to get back up to the surface and ask about what happened. By the way, do you know what day it is today?
I believe today is this month's pipe cleaning day.
Wait, seriously?
Ah, yes. Have you completed your release papers?
Yep. It's you two. Are you leaving now? That's right! Today is our last day in prison. But now that Paimon says that, it doesn't feel like we were confined here. It's actually been pretty nice. Oh yeah, Paimon feels fond of this place now. Then be sure to come back and visit. I'll miss you.
If you've signed the release papers, then you're free to go. The guards will escort you out.
You're not going to see us off?
I knew you'd ask. All right, sure. Let's go.
Well, you actually agreed. No worries, you...
Ah, so you do have a polite side, I see.
After being down here for so long, I imagine you must feel like you're lacking companionship. Shall I come along too? Yeah, don't worry, we'll come back to see you. Paimon really likes the cafeteria here. The chefs sure do know how to make good grub.
I hope you won't be here as convicts the next time I see you.
We'll do our best to stay out of trouble. Well, it seems our work in the Fortress of Mirapede is finished. That's the end of another chapter in our journey. And since Neuvillette was the one who asked us to come here, we should probably go report to him now. Next up, the Palais Mermonia. You're going to see Monsieur Neuvillette? Please pass on our kind regards.
I'm sure just your regards will do, no?
I believe it would be the polite thing to do.
You're right. I've heard the Palais has been terribly busy these days. But tell him that I hope he hasn't been overwhelmed by the recent string of troubles.
Monkey.
The Palais Mermonia sure is buzzing with activity today.
Halt! Huh? Oh, it's you two. Apologies. Monsieur Neuvillette did say you'd be welcome at any time.
Excuse me. Would you mind helping me take a look at this report?
I'll be right there. Sorry, I've got my hands full here. But you can see yourselves in.
Everyone's so busy. Seems a lot has been happening.
Hello. You've come at the right time, but you'll have to wait for just a moment, as there are some urgent matters I must tend to first. In the meantime, please, have a seat. If you'd like to have something to drink, let the Melusine outside know.
That's all right. We just ate.
Very well, then.
Let's take a break over there while we wait for him to finish his work.
All right. That should wrap things up for now.
Are you done with your work?
Yes, sorry to keep you waiting. Today should be the day you were released from the Fortress of Meripede, and it appears that you have managed to complete all the release paperwork.
That's right, and we came here to see you right away.
A massive whale.
Do you have any idea what that might be?
Judging from your description, that cannot have occurred in any ordinary waters, but rather something like the primordial sea. A whale of that size and shape cannot usually be found in the waters of Tevat. Therefore, we can only assume that Child is presently immersed in primordial seawater.
Immersed in primordial seawater? But how? Is he okay?
Most people wouldn't be capable of entering in the first place. I'm not completely sure how he could have gotten there myself. Yes? What is it?
Ah, right! Paimon felt it too! We asked the Duke and he said it wasn't from underwater, so we figured you might know something about it.
It turns out that I have just received a report about this particular matter. In fact, that's exactly what I was busy with a moment ago. The source of the tremor was here on the surface near Poisson. After the shaking stopped, the water levels in the Poisson area rose at an alarming rate.
The water levels rose? Oh no! What about all the people there?
Fortunately, the water levels only rose for a short period of time, and have already returned to normal now. However, I still have a bad feeling about the whole phenomenon. If the change in water levels is connected with the leaking primordial seawater, then the situation in Poisson may be much worse than it appears.
Navia should be in Poisson, right? We need to go check on her!
I would also like to go there as soon as possible, but I'm afraid I can't leave just yet. We must immediately formulate disaster prevention plans for the surrounding coastal areas to avoid potential catastrophes. I'll have to ask you two to go to Poisson first. I'll meet you there to check on the situation once I've finished things here.
There's no time to lose! Let's get going!
Please be careful.
sure she's still...
Poisson.
We haven't seen a single soul all the way here.
What will I ever do now?
Look, there's someone on the roof over there.
Just stay put. We're coming up. Watch your balance.
All right, just hurry.
I'm not young anymore. How will I survive on my own?
Oh, he looks pretty sad.
My leg! My leg! How could this have happened?
Just hang in there. Help is on the way. You can hold my hand if it makes you feel better.
Oh, it's Navia. She's over there. Hey, Navia, are you okay?
You're here.
We heard there was a situation in Poisson, so we came as quickly as we could.
Yes. As you can see, the water level suddenly rose. It caused quite the disturbance, in fact.
Demoiselle! There was a wounded resident next to a building southeast of here. We've already transported him to safety, but we've run out of medical supplies.
He's wounded? How badly?
He fell, so it's probably a broken leg. He's pretty shaken up. When the water level rose, he desperately climbed up to the roof. Once the water receded and he saw the ground, he became terrified and eventually...
He jumped down then. Find the leader of Squad 1 and tell him to take the wounded resident to see a doctor. He should know where to go.
Understood. I'll take over his search and rescue mission in the meantime.
All right. You'll be in charge. I'm sorry. Where were we?
The situation in Poisson?
Ah, right. Allow me to explain. A little earlier, we suddenly heard a loud noise. At first, everyone thought that something might have exploded in the waterways. But before we knew it, water started pouring out from everywhere. The rushing water seemed a little odd, almost like the unique color of primordial seawater. Some people didn't realize the danger and thought it was just ordinary water, leaking from somewhere. Everyone on the street who happened to be close to the water didn't have a chance to escape. As the water levels rose, they suddenly disappeared. They were all dissolved. Those who realized what was happening started to flee in a panic, desperately trying to get to higher ground. Many were injured in the stampede, and some people fell from significant heights. The Spina di Rosula initiated rescue operations as quickly as possible, but there have been a lot of casualties. Fortunately, the water began to recede after some time, and the chaos came to an end. The water that flooded the area contained primordial seawater, so the lower levels of Poisson are still hazardous. To ensure everyone's safety, I've asked the people there to leave as soon as possible. No one knows if this could happen again. All we can do for now is try our best to help evacuate the residents. We still haven't completed the head count, but we'll have some numbers soon.
How awful. And all of this just came out of nowhere.
It was quite frightening indeed. I only wish that everything that just happened was a bad dream.
Is there any way we can help, Navia?
Thank you for being so willing to help in a moment of crisis like this. You don't know how much it means to me.
Navia. That's what friends are for.
Demoiselle! We've got a situation here!
I'll be right there. Sorry, I need to go for now.
And off she goes.
Okay, the wounded are being tended to, and we finished a preliminary head count. More support has just arrived, so I suppose I finally have a moment to focus on my own matters. Of course, we should remain ready for anything, and continue doing our best to rescue others. I'll be sure to have everyone at the Spina di Rosula ready to render assistance. Traveler, Paimon, would you two accompany me to my father's grave for a moment?
Huh? Right now?
Thank you. Not a lot of people here, huh?
Well, given the time of day and the whole situation in Poisson...
Right. That's how things are now. The living are so exhausted that they've no strength to spare any words for the dead.
Navia? Navia, what's wrong?
Sorry. I just... Malus and Silver, they won't ever come back here again. What should I do, Papa?
Huh? What happened to them?
Everyone agreed on the rescue plan, but still, I was the one who initiated it. They were helping evacuate the residents, but they couldn't leave in time, and they were caught in the seawater.
What should we do?
I've known them for so long. And I know they weren't afraid. But I could at least hold a funeral for my father. And I know where he rests. But as for Malus and Silver, they're just... gone. I just can't...
Everything looks so clean after it rains. Even the gravestones. I didn't expect that you'd enjoy a glass of red wine in front of Master Callus's grave.
I can understand. Besides, the scenery here isn't half bad.
See, it's not just me. I always want to bring something when I visit Papa. Perhaps we might even have a picnic. He wouldn't be angry, would he?
How could Master ever be upset with you, Demoiselle? Yet the cemetery is the home of those who have passed, is it not? Everyone ends up here sooner or later, no matter who you are.
Buying yourself a plot in advance, are you?
No need yet. But when I do, I hope you'll let me be buried beside Master Callus, Demoiselle.
Hey, stop joking around.
I'm quite serious. That way, it'll save us both the trip to see each other whenever you visit your father's grave.
That makes sense. In that case, could I be buried on his other side?
After all, besides you, Demoiselle, the two of us could certainly be considered Master's closest companions, no?
Personally, I believe we fill those shoes just fine.
Why are you bringing this up all of a sudden? Seriously. All right. I'll remember your requests. But I'd really prefer not to talk about this stuff. And what do you mean by saving me a trip? I'd make the journey even if I had to visit you two somewhere else. I'd promised to let them rest in peace here. But here I am breaking that promise. I'm sorry for letting you see me in a mess like this. I don't usually cry, really.
Paimon doesn't know how to help you feel better. But, well, she understands how you feel.
I had always thought I could make my wishes come true. But now that I think about it, that never solely relied on me. Many things can only be accomplished with someone else's help. Malus and Silver have helped me so much. But by contrast, I could do nothing for them. I'm so sorry.
You can spend as much time as you need here, Navia. We'll stay with you.
Thank you. Right now, you don't know how much that means. By the way, you can have a look at this. It's a list of victims from the incident that took place here.
Obena, Khan, Burnett, Giverny, Francine, Karina, Daisy Ray, Joinville, Julianne, Esson, as well as Malus and Silver. So, everyone else is safe. But still...
It's okay. I know what you're thinking. And you're right. We lost Malus and Silver. But we were able to save more than we anticipated. The overall outcome indicates that the cost was worth it.
Right! Don't think that way, Navia. One person might be saved at the expense of another, sure, but that isn't something we should ever consider a trade. Malus and Silver were not the price for saving anyone. They're heroes.
You're right. Thank you, Paimon. What you said just now was pretty amazing, actually. I'll remember your words.
Oh!
Seems you've become more eloquent in the time since we last met.
The knave? What are you doing here?
Is everything going well on your side?
Yes, my people are carrying out the mission according to your request. All the residents of Poisson have been evacuated, and we're preparing to relocate them to higher ground. As for these supplies, we have everything taken care of. There is no need to worry.
Thank you very much.
Wait, do you two know each other?
We just met recently. Right, Miss Navia?
Usually, I would call this a coincidental encounter. But that doesn't quite fit this time. Besides, it never even crossed my mind that a Fatui Harbinger would come looking for me. Thanks to the Knave, Spina di Rosula received generous support from the Fatui, which allowed us to complete the rescue and evacuation work so quickly.
Mutual aid is essential to fostering positive developments. We were already in the area, in any case, so it was nothing. That said, I must say that you're a lot sharper than you let on. I'm sure you understand what I mean.
I apologize for all the ways in which I tested you previously. We've never worked with a Fatui before, and it's extremely important for us to know who we're working with. My subordinates have reported that Fatui soldiers have been observing water levels and taking head counts in various locations. I hear that they've also prepared a large amount of emergency supplies. I'm quite surprised.
This is nothing to brag about, nor do I intend to. It is simply the way of powerful organizations to act forcefully, whether they are doing good or ill. You've witnessed that firsthand, in any case. As I've told this traveler before, I know of the prophecy, and I intend to prevent the impending disaster. Lending your organization a hand was a natural first step in accomplishing that. As such, do not be troubled by this token of our sincerity. Perhaps one day, you'll also be able to help me in the same way.
Without your help, there would have been many more casualties. I won't forget your kindness.
Furthermore, I sincerely regret what happened to Malus and Silver. I only wish that my people could have arrived a little earlier to prevent this from happening.
Don't say that. You and your subordinates did everything you could. As Paimon said, Malus and Silver didn't choose to sacrifice themselves for any specific person. And they weren't the price paid for other salvation. They chose to become heroes themselves. I've never liked hearing people put it that way. It's like trying to relieve pain by saying some noble-sounding words. But right now, there's nothing more suitable. They really did become heroes.
You're right. I'm sorry for your loss, Miss Navia. Water is life to Fontaine's people, and it also spells disaster. It's no wonder that people always say that prophecies represent fate. Fortunately, I've never been one for such opinions.
So, you're one who will try to change fate, then?
Of course. That is why I'm going to Hotel Bouffe de Thé. I still have some things to take care of, and the children need my attention. By the way, Traveler, Paimon, one more thing.
What's up?
Alright, then we'll just... Huh? This isn't right. Paimon thought you would ask us to walk with you for a moment so you could tell us something in private.
That is a clever and useful conversation technique, which I do like to use when necessary. But there's no need today. It would not hurt to have Miss Navia listening in. Traveler, I'm sure you remember that I said we could work together when we had the chance. You and I both know that there may be issues with the Primordial Sea. Previously, it was the Fortress of Meripede's sluice gate, and this time it was the water levels in Poisson. These are both signals. Indeed. Allow me to share the latest intel I've received from the House of the Hearth's intelligence network with you. During some recent investigations, a child claimed to have discovered some ruins near Poisson. The ruins date back to ancient times, and seem to be worth investigating in many ways. Judging by the dating of the ruins, they may be related to the prophecy and the coming crisis. The situation is becoming more urgent, so any pertinent information will prove extremely precious. My people initially came to prepare for ruin exploration. Unexpectedly, this disaster struck, and at present, we're all busy prioritizing the rescue effort.
So that's why the Fatui were already in Poisson.
I wanted to take the children along, but unfortunately, Linny, Lynette, and Fremine have all been dispatched to higher ground to assist affected residents. Linny told me that outside of the house, the person they trust most is you. Which is why I want to give you this task. The House of the Hearth's members see each other as family, but Linny, Lynette, and Fremine said that they also see you as such, even though you are not from the house. I'm sure you already understand how earnest they consider their friendship with you to be.
Oh, that somehow makes Paimon feel kinda happy.
The intel I just shared about the ruins could fetch a high price. But since the children consider you family, it's only natural that I freely share it with you.
Got it! So all we gotta do is go to some ruins, right? We can handle that.
Excuse me, but may I tag along?
You wish to join, Miss Navia?
But are you sure you're up to exploring some ruins? You need to rest.
Well, I'm sad, yes. But I can't just go back and plop myself into a chair by the roadside and do nothing. There's no point in being depressed while we still have a disaster on our hands. As my father's successor, I must live up to the hopes he had in me. Besides, I'm also doing this for myself. I need something, a distraction, to keep my mind off Malus and Silver.
Since you put it that way, I have no objections. What do you say, Traveler? All right. The ruins are to the south of Poisson. Here's the map.
Okay, the three of us will handle it. Come on, let's pack up and get going.
Poisson. Oh, whoops.
So, are these the ruins the knave was talking about?
They seem to be pretty ancient, all right.
Let's go in and have a look.
Just be careful.
Whoops.
Right here. Right now. Go.
Busted.
Dada Kundala.
Dada Kundala.
Watch it! The floor here isn't safe!
I fell. Dada Kundala.
This place has also been contaminated by primordial seawater.
Yeah. And a lot of it, too. A Fontainian would most likely dissolve the moment they fell in.
Right! You can't go down if there's primordial seawater. It's too dangerous, and it won't be any help for you to just stay. Don't get by my wrong. We're not saying you're useless. It's just that...
No, you're right. I can't do anything in this situation. I'll leave this to you. That complicates things. Maybe the only way left is forward.
In that case, do you want to wait for us here?
The water levels here are unstable, and there's a chance the water will rise. So staying here wouldn't be safe either. I'll go together with you. Perhaps we'll find the exit just up ahead.
All right.
Oh.
Oh no, it's a dead end! Let's try climbing over from the side.
Savage. Oh wow.
Wait, there's something wrong with this bridge.
Is she dead? Why we go first?
Demoiselle?
Huh?
Demoiselle, what are you doing here by yourself? Would you be standing here till dark if I hadn't come to get you?
Maybe she just wants some time to herself, Malou.
Hmm? Oh,
Yes, it would appear so.
I must.
That's quite possible. However, you were the one that suggested we go out for a walk.
Oh, right. I nearly forgot. Whew. It must have slipped my mind when I dozed off. I haven't had a nap today yet. This is a familiar feeling, yet...
Is something the matter, Demoiselle?
Oh, no. I was just trying to recall why we came out for a walk.
Do you remember Mr. Giverny? He'd requested our help before with foreign merchants who had a debt dispute with him, and we'd resolved the matter not long ago.
We were headed to see how things were going with him at the moment.
Ah, right. Yes. I remember now.
Oh, Miss Navia. Ah, Mr. Malus. And Mr. Silver, too. It's good to see all of you.
How have you been?
I've been great. Thanks to your help, those bothersome merchants finally realized that I wasn't the one they were looking for. Why, I wasn't even the guarantor for that person. They were knocking at my door day and night. Even my neighbor, Obina, was getting fed up with them.
Sometimes force is required to calm someone down and get them to listen to what you have to say.
That's right. Oh, by the way, Burnett, what was it that you wanted to give to Miss Navia again?
What the hell's that smell? Cat was shitting, dude.
Oh, yes. One moment, I have it right here. Miss Navia, these are some flower seeds that I prepared. Please take them. They're a very good variety, and they'll become very big and beautiful once they bloom. I don't know what we would have done without your help, so this is a little token of our appreciation. I hope you won't refuse.
Ah, did you cultivate them yourself? Thank you so much. I'll certainly take them.
Why, we can have as many pots as you'd like, demoiselle.
Perfect. In that case, we'll swap out some of the decorative plants for some of Mrs. Burnett's flowers.
Very well.
Wait. Something seems to be off here. Excuse me, madam. If I'm not mistaken, your name is Burnett, correct?
That's right. Is something wrong?
No, it's nothing. This is the first time we've ever met, but your name seemed familiar to me. I've heard this name before. And why are there so few people around here?
We must mind the time, demoiselle. We still have important things to attend to today.
Huh? We do? Like what?
Well, now, did you forget?
Miss Navia, here you are. I've been My trial?
Yes, she's right, demoiselle. It's just about time now, so...
Oh?
Look, it's Navia! She's here!
And her two attendants are with her! Goodness, everyone's finally here.
There sure are a lot of people here to see the trial. And they all seem to be Karina, Desiree, Joyville, Jolien, Essen. Where? And as for the judge... huh? Where's Monsieur...
Please sit in the defendant's seat.
All right.
Typically, it wouldn't be allowed, but today is an exception.
Hey, what kind of place do they think this is?
Come on, do they have any idea what they're doing?
Enough with the whispering! Could someone please tell me where Monsieur Neuvillette is?
My dear Miss Navia, have you not yet realized what you've done? As all here know, you are Master Callus's successor, the head of the Spina di Rosula. After you took over the Spina, you treated all of us just like the late Master Callus had. If anyone in need reached out to you for help, you responded. Not only you, but your butler, your subordinates, nearly everyone in the Spina di Rosula fought for the well-being of those in Poisson.
Wait a moment. Aren't you just proving that I'm a good person?
Yes, correct. Absolutely right. And that is why you stand accused. You have helped so many people get through so many difficulties. You are one with us. We are inseparable. We are one big family, all of us who are from Poisson, inextricably linked. And with you being so important, we couldn't possibly do without you. Therefore, this fair and honorable court shall declare you guilty, and you shall stay here. You will be together with us forever.
Huh? What are you saying? Everything you have said is correct. I have indeed done a lot for my hometown.
Ah, well, if that's what you think, then I have no further comments.
How wonderful, Miss Navia!
I know all these people. Why are they laughing?
I seem to remember now. Yes, I get it. This trial...
Wait just a moment. This isn't right!
Malus?
What was that, Mr. Malus? Our conclusion is very clear and unanimous. Let the court judge her now. She's guilty!
Stay here, Navia! You're one of us!
Demoiselle, don't admit guilt. This trial means to keep you here forever.
I wish to exercise my right to defend Our Lady. Mr. Joinville, you only know of Navia's goodness, but nothing of her utterly independent mind.
She was born a free and independent spirit. She has never been tied down by anything. Indeed, even the death of Master Callus couldn't stop her.
Her actions cannot serve as proof that she identifies herself as part of any group. She merely acted as an individual, extending her hand to help others. Please do not mistake her actions as being otherwise.
Really? As an individual, you say? Don't forget, we are all Fontainians here. This is the nation of justice, the nation of Hydro! Even if Miss Navia only voluntarily rendered her assistance, that doesn't change the fact that her beautiful soul must return to everyone. Water accepts all, blends with all. It will surely accept her kindness. Everything is measured here in the nation of Hydro, and in the end, everyone shall meld together. Thus, when a unanimous opinion emerges, that opinion represents justice. Now, I speak for everyone. Our opinion is consistent. Navia should stay. We and Navia are one.
And you would call this justice? Preposterous. You are merely jealous that Demoiselle still has a chance to exist as an individual. Have you forgotten how much you all once longed to become individuals, to become independent?
Do you mean
to defy our justice?
If your justice is flawed, then why should we acknowledge it?
As you said, we can also have our own justice. Silver and I shall defend Demoiselle. And that is how we will enforce justice.
My head.
Demoiselle.
Silver, it hurts. My head is spinning. Oh, I remember now. Everything that seemed odd from the very beginning. Karina, Desiree, Joyville, Jolien, Essen, and Mr. Giverny and Mrs. Burnett, who we met earlier. Even Malus and Silver. I don't want to admit it, but they're all dead.
Don't be afraid, and don't admit guilt. We will protect you to the very end.
Absurd! Who are you to say that she cannot be judged? We are the majority, and in the nation of trials, the majority is absolute justice.
Don't let them escape! We shall keep Navia here with us!
Mr. Malus and Mr. Silver, must you be so stubborn? How could the two of you possibly hope to stand against the collective? Do not resist. This judgment is fair and just. Navia belongs to us. After all that happened, she should not be left alone in Poisson.
What are you saying?
No more excuses!
He says we're jealous. Jealous? How could she possibly be an independent individual?
What's with these people?
Who's jealous of her?
She belongs to us!
Miss Navia, she...
Silence!
That's... Monsieur Neuvillette!
Such commotion is prohibited in the court. The accusations you just presented are nonsense and cannot constitute a proper trial. The court will adjourn for the rest of the day. In this, I shall hear no objections from any unauthorized party.
Our thanks, Monsieur Neuvillette.
Please leave with me, Miss Navia, while there is still time.
But...
Go on now, Demoiselle. This is your only
Allez.
chance to leave this place. What, can't bear to leave us behind or something?
Loose.
My apologies. I couldn't resist making one little joke once I realized that this shall be our last goodbye.
Malus. Silver.
Quickly, you must come now.
Goodbye, Demoiselle.
Farewell.
No, wait! Just a second!
Navia?
you're awake. Good.
Ali.
I must have been dreaming. Malus and Silver were still alive.
It looks like you're all right.
Did all the sad feelings cause you to have a nightmare? Paimon could give you a hug.
The ruins you were exploring suffered a cave-in. When I arrived, I found you falling toward the water. You were just about to be dissolved within, but
Hmm? What is it?
I think I saw 2 Oceanids protecting you. It was only for a moment, perhaps even a fraction of a second, but they gave me the chance to retrieve you. Were it not for their intervention, I would not have been able to rescue you before your consciousness dissipated.
Wait, did you say Oceanids? You mean like what happened with Vache?
Perhaps those 2 Oceanids were the people you saw in your dream.
I always told them that they didn't have to protect me. To think that they'd keep doing so even after death.
Please come with me.
Neverlet, are you okay?
Hmm? Oh, I am quite all right. Perhaps there's something we could chat about?
Why do you look so stiff all of a sudden? Oh, Paimon knows. You're the type who feels awkward when there's nothing to talk about, right?
I merely thought that we should give Navia some time to herself.
Huh? Why didn't you just say so then? Don't you think it's even more awkward to call us over like this and then...
I suppose so. Ah, Sigewinne. I hope all is well with her these days. Her work in the Fortress of Meropide has not been too much for her, has it?
No way, don't worry. She's doing fine down there. She's an amazing head nurse.
I see. Well, that is good. I have always worried that Sigewinne would need a lot of time to understand the world of humanity, just as I have.
Oh, and the Duke also says hi. Even though Sigewinne made him do that. He hopes that you haven't been overwhelmed by all that's happened lately.
Thank you. I have indeed been busy lately, and I also hope that everything is going well in the Fortress of Meropide.
He still doesn't know what to talk about. Let's chat about something else then. So, never... this isn't going anywhere. Let's try something else. How did you find these ruins?
Yes, in fact. I had arranged to meet you in Poisson, but when I arrived, I discovered that the Fatui were helping the residents evacuate. They had even transported a large quantity of supplies to the area. Amid my astonishment, I ran into the knave, and we had a chat. She informed me that she had asked you to investigate the ancient ruins here.
Yeah, we originally planned to meet up with you, but we thought you might still be busy with all those official documents. We didn't think exploring the ruins would take very long, and who would have thought you'd wrap things up so quickly?
I'm sorry to have kept you all waiting like that. I'm feeling much better now. I guess we should get going again. Will you come with us, Monsieur Neuvillette?
Yes, if you wouldn't mind my company.
Whoa! Hey! Another one's going to the party! Let's get going then! Yada Kundala. Oh no! Another unstable path! Watch your step!
Right now, emerge. Yes. Sacred name, fortune preserver.
Things are about to get dicey.
Yeah.
Lights out.
Looks like we've reached the end.
This is the place. There should not be any other hidden spaces in the vicinity.
The path sure had some twists and turns, but it turns out that this place isn't actually that big.
Stone slates. It seems like they were put here as an offering. Could we take them down and have a look?
Perhaps we should just leave them be for now.
There are 4 locations in total, but only 3 stone slates. The slate that should be in the first empty spot is missing.
The surrounding walls also show signs of damage.
There's something written below. Let Paimon see. Reason dictates that this nation be destroyed. I shall record the history of its future here in its past.
It feels like someone left these slates and these words here for a purpose. But does he mean that Fontaine should be destroyed?
That would fit the circumstances dictated by the prophecy, yes. Indeed, the slate's contents correspond to it. Take the second slate, for example.
There's a person kneeling here. She seems so dedicated.
And is that Lady Farina in the third image?
And is that a ring of people around her? Paimon doesn't quite get it. Are they all in the water?
The fourth image. I know this one. This exactly matches the content of the prophecy.
The people will all be dissolved into the waters, and only the Hydro Archon will remain, weeping on her throne. More information should be hidden in these slates, but I fear I cannot easily uncover it, most likely due to us missing the first slate. I am very sorry.
Don't blame yourself, Monsieur Neuvillette. Deciphering ancient stone slates isn't one of your duties.
Ooh, Paimon's getting the chills just looking at these slates. This says that it's the history of the future, right? That means the prophecy's sure to come true.
I really hope it doesn't mean that.
Still, Paimon feels like these images are kind of weird when you...
That's right! If the images are in chronological order, shouldn't the fourth, the waters drowning Fontaine, come before the third, where the Hydro Archon herself falls into the water?
And yet the order is reversed here.
If we go by timing, Lady Farina only emerges in the third image. That means that the person in the second image might be the previous Hydro Archon.
Egeria, then. I had never met her, but her appearance here does match the records. The previous Archon kneeling before the floating island in the skies, as if confessing a sin.
Did she herself commit that sin? And if not, why would she be in such a posture? Also, I'm still wondering why these ancient stone slates are here at all. Judging from their contents, could this place be the origin of the prophecy? Does that mean that someone, or some people, once saw these slates?
But who would have created these slates and left these words here?
It seems that any further clues will have to come from Farina.
In that case, there's no time to lose. There's nothing else to be gained here, so let's head back first.
Yeah, we better get somewhere safe for now.
Let's split up here. I'm going to check on what's happening with the Spina. You know...
You still have energy for that, Navia? Paimon's already beat!
Just head back to the Fleuve Cendre and have a rest then. Thanks for keeping me company all this...
I'll depart as well. Thanks for your hard work today. Traveler, I will go talk to Farina tomorrow morning to ask about the stone slates. I'm sure that you're concerned about this matter as well. If you have time, drop by my office. I will share the results of our discussion with you.
Are you really gonna talk to her about this directly? Will that be a problem? Paimon's getting a little scared now that it's come to this.
She has long been harboring secrets and will not give them up easily, which makes it all the more my duty to ensure that she understands the present situation.
Alright, we'll leave it in your hands then. You're probably the best person to talk to her anyway.
I will be carefully considering my words tonight.
Traveler, Paimon, our safe house at the Fleuve Cendre is always open to you, as ever. So please don't think you're an imposition. All right. I'll be on my way then.
We're finally back!
Welcome back. We've got...
Yay! And there's good food too! Paimon's already starting to forget what happened today.
Oh, that voice. Is that...
Huh?
Mona?
It's you two. What are you doing in Fontaine?
Mona?
Seriously, nobody just uses a scry glass whenever they've got time to just see who they'll meet on the road.
Still, we didn't expect to see you here. Wait, you're not a Fontainian, are you, Mona?
Well, I have some business to attend to here, so I booked a hotel in the city. I was just out for a stroll when I bumped into you. Quite unexpectedly, if I might add. Why did you think I was from Fontaine, though? Is that because Magistus doesn't sound much like a Mondstadter surname?
Yeah, let's go with that.
Well, I used to have my own surname, which was, well, some other thing. Either way, the old hag told me when she took me as her disciple that the first step to being a great astrologist's pupil was to change that name. There was nothing for it, really. She really is amazing at astrology, so I changed my name to what it is now according to her wishes. To my surprise, however, Magistus is not the name of some ancient house or clan.
It isn't?
Nope. Although it is used by us in place of surnames, it generally just means great.
Wow! Imagine including a boast in your name. Wait, are you gonna have to put that into your genealogy as well?
I reckon so. In any case, I'd give my disciple a name like this as well, if I were to take one. Astromancer Barbeloth Trismegistus.
Whoa, that's a long one. Does it also mean great or something?
My name means Mona the Great Astrologist. As for the old hag, hers is, in plain speech, the thrice as great Scholar of the Stars.
Just take it as a title specific to astrologists.
Thrice as great? That's so petty.
I know, right? That's just how she is. She used to call herself Magistus, actually, but when she took me in, she changed her name to Trismegistus.
Talk about excessive.
Magistus is thus the calling card of our school, so to speak, which makes it about the same as a surname. It's all right if you don't get it. You can look into it further should you need to study astrology more deeply.
That sounds terrible! But anyway, you're not Fontainian, are you, Mona? You're from Mondstadt, right?
Well, I was born in Mondstadt, yes. My parents migrated to Dorman Port, and I traveled with the old hag for a while, after which I settled down in Mondstadt City.
Oh, that's a good thing then. At least we know you won't be dissolved by Fontaine's waters.
Speaking of that, I'm sure you're aware that a bunch of things have happened here in Fontaine, right? I know you're not a local, but I'd avoid getting too close to any water that looks strange all the same. There's something ominous about it. Well, the water, I mean. That was the main reason, yes. Just a while back, the Steambird invited me to take part in a panel and speak about the circulation of the prophecy as an astrologist. The invitation was sent quite early on. I don't think anyone expected Fontaine to be in this much trouble.
What do you make of that prophecy, Mona? Just tell us what you think as an astrologist. Your word would go a long way to make things more certain and less scary.
What I can tell you is that I'm an astrologist, and that this prophecy concerns the fate of Fontaine, even that of all Tevat. Ascertaining this is akin to reading the fortune of the whole world. I'm afraid that this is not something that just anyone can do. If I could do it, you would no longer call me an astrologist, but a visionary. But on the flip side, the prophecy is so huge and powerful that it must surely come from a powerful visionary.
A visionary? Sounds really powerful and all, but does such a person really exist?
Of course. The old hag could do it, and I'd bet there are others amongst those Hexenzirkel colleagues of hers who could do something similar. Huh? Are you sure? All right, I'll help you. It isn't often that I see you with such a serious look on your face. I'll tell you once I hear back from her.
Thanks, Mona! You're amazing as always!
Oh, well, this is something only I can do after all. So yes, your praises are quite welcome.
That's the greatest of astrologists for you! Of all the people we know, you know the star's the best!
Indeed, indeed. That's the spirit.
Oh, sorry. I came to see what all the commotion was about. If there's anything you need, do not hesitate to inform the Spina di Rosula.
Oh, whoops. Guess we were getting a little too carried away there. Well, I'll go tend to my own business now. If I receive any news, I'll be sure to come find you two again.
And there she goes, quick as rushing water. And here we are with the Spina guy giving us suspicious looks. If Paimon hadn't spoken for you, it'd be you getting all the weird looks. The things... that's more like... Good morning. To be honest, Paimon's still feeling kind of... But it's time to get up, Traveler. We agreed to go see Neuvillette.
Wait, that's it for now. Like, oh my god.